Hello there. How you doing today? Welcome to our, let's see, what do we call it now? We're currently taking a break from embracing change, although I think we're always talking about change. But right now we're doing a Lenten series. Keep it true, Lent. You can hear Tishy wants my attention, so I'll be right back. Tishy Magoo. You want to do the video with me? Want to do the video with me? Come on. There she is, everybody. That's precious Tishy. And let me tilt this down a little bit there. There we go. Okay, so we're talking about Lent, and of course that's about change. It's about making positive change. Focusing this 6-week period between Ash Wednesday and Easter Sunday. Today we're talking about we're going to begin a 4-part series, mini-series called the 4C's. And today is the first C. This is from a series I did a number of years ago. It's called the 4C's of Christ consciousness. And what that really means is within each one of us is a spark of divinity, and we call that Christ. And it is actually the divine spark, the part of God that makes us a child of God that's within us. And in this, we're learning in the next 4 days. Well, I'll be taking off the weekend, but anyway, the next 4 videos, we're going to be talking about how to lift our consciousness. So again, please remember, look at this as spiritual. If you are not religious, you don't have to be religious. Everyone's spiritual. So let's not get, knotted up in that. So I hope you will enjoy me in the next 4 videos as we talk about the 4 C's of, shall we say, higher consciousness. The 4 C's of lifting ourselves up to a better life and a better future for everyone. Because of where we are right now with the horrors that are happening in the Ukraine, and we can't forget they are happening in different places around the world as well. But I would like to ask you again to join me in this prayer for peace. I did post it. You might have seen it. It's a very simple little prayer, so I invite you to take a minute and get grounded. And we pray today for those who are fleeing sanctuary, for those who are staying safety, for those who are fighting peace, for those whose hearts are breaking comfort, and for those who see no future hope. So please hold that in your hearts as we go through the next days. I don't ever recall being because of technology, we know like everything that's going on, we're like right there all the time. And to have connections and to watch the people, it just does make one's heart ache. And this is where I really hang on. Remember, we're all trusting God for a higher outcome on it. And I remember, that one prayer, the father whose daughter was sick. I believe, help thou my unbelief. So no matter how scary it gets, we have to know and affirm that good is going to come out of it. And you know what? It's going to come out of it as we learn to lift our consciousness out of the lower human-based carnal realm. It's not like you've got to get rid of that part of you. We lift it up. We put our higher self in charge. So, okay, so today we're going to talk about the first of the 4C's. Now, the 4C's are, it's the 4C's of Christ consciousness, and it's character, courage, conscience, and commitment. And today we are looking at commitment. And of course, before we look at that, we're going to take a peek at the National Day calendar. And today is called, you know, it's so amazing how this stuff all weaves together. And I hope as we're doing the videos and you're watching them, you go, oh, that's starting to make sense. I want you to get it before I tell you about it. So you'll be saying, I got that one. I got that one before you even said it. So today is Soup It Forward Day. And it is about making soup to share with someone. Now, you know, as I've been talking about the going into Lent, second day of Lent, and my commitment to give up whatever I need to give up 7 extra pounds that I'm carrying around. And we talked yesterday about how we always say, you know, whenever we make declare something for our life, all that is unlike it comes up for healing. And so what did I find? That my brother-in-law, thinking it's Fat Tuesday, got cheesecake, cupcakes. And mine's in the freezer. That's that commitment that I have to fulfilling my self-discipline during Lent. Now, here's what you got to know. There's rewards and everything. We play Mahjong this afternoon, and one of our friends that's playing with us brought soup. She didn't even know it was National Soup It Forward Day, but and the soup was absolutely perfect. And here comes more divine idea. I'd been thinking I wanted to make some of the Weight Watchers soup, which it's not magical or anything. It's got a lot of healthy vegetables and stuff in it, and it's very low fat. So you think, well, that's what you need if you want to be low fat. But the thing is, I've been thinking about making the soup, and Sue brought a soup that was very close to that. I'm going to tell you, it was yummy. So, and I didn't feel at all bad having 2 bowls, because it was, number 1, so yummy, number 2, mostly water and very little fat, no meat, as you know, a couple beans in it. That was pretty good. So it is also Mulled Wine Day. Now, mulled wine comes from or the ancient Roman days. That's the first time they started to heat up wine. So, and it is getting cold, and it's going to be another one of those nights in the teens. So I think after supper, maybe I will make myself a little mulled wine to sip on and stay warm and cozy as I watch. If you haven't watched this show, you really should. It's on Hulu, and it's called Ghosts. And it's funny, it's well written, and what a wonderful way to spend an evening. And with my Tishy, thank you God, she's doing really good. It is what it is. I'm excited. It is also I Want You to Be Happy Day. So you're being called to make someone happy today. Go ahead, make their day. Whatever you can do that might bring happiness. It can be a hug, it can be a compliment, it can be a phone call, it can be an email. There's so many ways to make someone happy. Alrighty, now we're going to talk about the first of the 4C's, which is commitment. Commitment is a powerful word that we have over the years gotten a little lax on. I mean, I have noticed this a lot. And this we did kind of talk about a little bit yesterday, about people who say they'll be there and then they don't show up, or they make a promise and they don't keep it. Commitment is such an important part of life working out. Remember, we talked about the apostle that said, let your answer be yes, yes, or no, no. You're going to do it or you're not going to do it. Don't say you're going to do it and then not do it. Now, when I was in the Dale Carnegie course, we learned a very powerful saying, which you may or may not have heard me say before, but it's, I know men in the ranks who will stay men in the ranks. Why? I'll tell you why. They simply lack the ability to get things done. Now, here's the thing. When we first hear that, we think, well, they must be lazy. You know, the inability to get things done does not mean you're lazy. It means you're either procrastinating or, excuse me, maybe you don't want it as much as you think you want it. A lot of people are very, very busy and yet fail to get things done. So you have to see, would you like to have this, that, or the other thing? Would you like to do this or that? Or do you want to? Do you really want to? Or do you need to? That's one of the first answers, because before you go around talking about what you want to do, it'll never get done if you don't really want to do it, if you would just like to do it. If you're not willing to put into it what you have to put into it to get out of it what you desire, that one's on you. Yesterday when we talked about Ash Wednesday and about the fact that the ashes that the priest imposes on your forehead represents changing your mind. It represents negative thinking, bad thoughts and like that. And we come to that point where we acknowledge that it has been a part of our life, but we deny that it has power, excuse me, power to control our life. Excuse me. I have a friend who told a story about giving up smoking. And they said they were going to quit smoking, and what they did is they went out and bought a pack of cigarettes. And they put that pack of cigarettes on a table. And every day they would say, excuse me, to the pack of cigarettes, you have no power over me. So you see, and that's truth. That pack of cigarettes ultimately has no power over you. Isn't that exciting? Think of the things that you may be giving power over to, your own power over to. They have no power that you don't give them. I do believe Jesus said that to Pilate. So are you a man or a woman in the ranks? Or are you producing results? Are you spinning your tires? And could it be a matter of commitment? Are you possibly missing out because you're just not really all in, as they say? Think about marriage vows, okay? Lord knows I've heard plenty of them. And people get in front of the minister or justice of the peace and all their friends and family, and they promise to love and honor and support till death do us part. And you promise to be committed and promise to be trying to think of the word. I haven't done a wedding in a while. Be faithful. Yet, with a 50% marriage, divorce rate, and the degree of infidelity in marriages and stuff, and the fact that a lot of people don't even want to make a commitment to get married. Now, please don't be hating, okay? I'm just going to give you a little example, and I know, because I've been on both sides of this. When I went into my marriage, I was fully and completely committed. Now, it was not a good marriage. I stuck it out as long as I could. I am not going to be pointing fingers and blaming whose fault was it. See, it's not about fault, it's about cause. And you just can't, put two things together all the time and have it work. Try putting the wrong piece in the puzzle. It doesn't fit. We might shove and shove and shove, but no matter how hard we shove that puzzle piece in, if it's not a part of the puzzle, it's not going to be right. And it'll be uncomfortable to even look at. So, as much as I was committed, and they say, till death do we part, I say this absolutely seriously, although it's funny, when death seems to be a pretty good alternative, the preferred alternative, you're in trouble. And when you get to that point where you know there's no saving it, but you always have to say, like Dr. Phil would say, you don't just get a divorce, you have to earn a divorce. You have to do everything in your power first to make sure that the marriage could not be saved. Why? It's not about God like laying something heavy on you and saying, you got to do this or else. The or else, unfortunately, is that when people get divorced, then we've got the money the money that was coming into the household, the money they were working with, now has to support two households if there's children involved. And then we have the security of the relationship of the parents, which makes a solid foundation. Then that is compromised. It's like having a bunch of little fractures in the foundation. Does that mean you never have to get a divorce? Well, I did twice. And what I learned in it is how important it is to make a right choice in the beginning. So my commitment was there for 17 years. My commitment was there. I did the best that I knew how. And when even the priest was saying, when the time is right, you'll know it. And the time was right, and I knew it. And then I moved on. I didn't learn anything, though, between moving on and my next marriage. So, but the bottom line, the important thing here is that I was committed. Just because it didn't work out, not everything you commit to is going to work out. You may not be committing to the best thing for you, but you want to know when all the cards are on the table, you did your best. I think there's a lot of times people, if they committed to doing the work that had to be done, that jobs could be saved, marriages could be saved, health could be saved. Are you committed to your own health? Are you taking care of your body? What about money? Are you committed to handling your money in a positive way? A lot of people like to judge or condemn people that are in a very low income thing, and they'll say, why do they buy all that crap they buy? They nickel and dime, and maybe it's clothes, maybe it's jewelry or stuff, when they really have greater needs. The thing is that they in their mind, this is what they have, and they can buy it and have it. They're not really heartily committed to being debt-free. Being debt-free is a huge commitment. It's a lot of self-discipline. Everything we want to have, to do, to be, requires commitment. And commitment is almost magical. I'm going to really encourage you to think about commitment and what it means. And I got a funny little story to tell you. Joyce Meyer told it the other day, and it was pretty good. This guy was getting ready to retire. And he'd done a great job with the company for like 40 years. He was in construction. They built houses. But once he decided he was going to retire, his commitment and his pride in what he was doing and everything tended to dwindle. So yeah, he put the house together. The materials were a little lesser, and like instead of putting in X number of nails per foot, they put in fewer, and he just wanted to get it done and retired. His eye was on retirement. It wasn't on the commitment he had to being the craftsperson he was meant to be. So finally the day of retirement comes. He finished the house, and it was okay. And so they had a big retirement party for him, and he said, his boss said, "You have been such a magnificent employee. Your work has been so good and such high quality, and you've been there through thick and thin, that what we're going to do, that house you just built, we're not selling it. We're giving it to you as a gift." Think if he had stayed committed, would have had a better house. So think about that. I want to share a special work by Goethe, and it is called Commitment. So listen to the words and let them come into your being. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events and issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would come his way. Whatever you can do or dream, you can do it. Begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. When you commit, when you really commit, you'll be surprised how the world comes. Spirit shows up to help you get what you've committed to. I hope you have a great day, and Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.